You might have seen the US announcement that the Gaza ceasefire is moving into phase 2. That's because the goals of phase 1, which began on October 10, have supposedly been achieved. But have they? Here's a refresher, in case you missed it. First, the ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas was supposed to bring just that, a ceasefire, but that hasn't happened. Gaza's Ministry of Health says continued Israeli attacks have killed 449 Palestinians and wounded another 1,246 since the ceasefire began. More than 100 children are amongst those killed, according to UNICEF. Full aid was promised under the ceasefire plan, but officials in Gaza say less than half the number of trucks that were agreed upon have been allowed in because of Israeli bureaucracy and border closures. It was only this week that the UN reported that food stocks are finally sufficient to provide people with just the minimum monthly food rations, for the first time since October 2023. As for housing, Israel was supposed to have let in at least 60,000 mobile homes or caravans and 200,000 tents. Despite intense winter wind, rain and floods, the Israeli government hasn't allowed in any proper structures or building material, and aid agencies say authorities have only let in 91,000 tents. And there's been barely any chance of rebuilding vital infrastructure like water, electricity and sewage systems. So what about Israel's withdrawal? The Israeli military pulled back from some areas, repositioning behind the agreed so-called yellow line. But that line keeps moving. Israeli forces continue to take over more and more territory, displacing and killing Palestinians in the process. Captives. Hamas has handed over all living Israeli captives as per the deal. It's also supposed to have handed over the bodies of the deceased. Despite the difficulties of finding the bodies amongst the rubble, Hamas has done this, with the exception of one remaining victim. Now, phase 2 is supposed to deliver more permanent solutions, like a transitional governing board. But a lot of details are still up in the air, like the disarmament of Gaza's armed groups and a full Israeli withdrawal, which is why there's still a lot of doubt about how all this is supposed to work.